The Internet of Things, a phrase that is both utterly generic and uninformative and somehow futuristic and the stuff of science fiction. So, what is it? Simply, the Internet of Things is the network of physical objects and devices that are embedded with technology that allow them to collect data and talk to each other to exchange information through the Internet. So, technically, it is both ordinary and futuristic. Examples of the Internet of Things can be seen throughout science fiction. Star Trek's tricorders, which could analyze data, the ship's computer itself, which, with a simple voice command, could control environmental systems, create intricate holographic worlds, analyze space anomalies, and translate thousands of languages in real time. But we have real world examples of the Internet of Things all around us right now. Home security systems, smart fridges that let you know when you're running low on milk and add it to your grocery list, computer-enabled watches that send texts with a voice command, monitor heart rates, activity levels, and even sleep patterns, and smart home management systems that can sense and adjust to changes in temperature and lighting automatically. How can the Internet of Things contribute to libraries and archives and museums? On a practical level, that smart home concept from before, those same kinds of systems can be integrated into the environmental systems in our buildings. Sensors can keep track of temperature, lighting, and relative humidity in each room, adjusting as necessary to maintain collections. And that information can be relayed back to staff in real time to triage problems before damage occurs. We already use the IoT in the form of radio frequency identification devices, ID tags attached to each book or object, to search library websites for availability and to check books in and out. We can use that technology to build smart bookcases, to locate materials within the building and direct patrons to their exact locations with maps, or work in connection with drones to deliver materials to people in their homes. There is a lot of new and exciting work being done with extended reality that can be adapted for museum and archival experiences. From home, users could open the museum's website, click on a QR code, and virtually visit exhibits, either in place of physical visits or as a way of previewing and planning future ones. Schools could use this to bring the museum and archives into classrooms all over the world. People who are physically unable to come to the building would be able to engage with materials and exhibits. We could also create immersive experiences for in-person using virtual reality. By putting on a headset, users would find themselves in the halls of the very first American Congress or sitting in the sound booth while the Beatles laid down their Abbey Road album. By dropping people into the time period when a particular piece was created, we could enhance people's understanding of the piece and the creator. The Internet of Things can be integrated into our LAMs in ways that would benefit both our disabled patrons and the whole community in general. Speech recognition software for users with mobility impairments, scanning technologies that translate written words into audio for blind, low sight, and dyslexic patrons, and language software to communicate with patrons who do not speak English. New advances are being made all the time. Can you imagine that one day the Star Trek Universal Translator could be used in everyday life for automatic translation and communication across languages? Or, like their holodeck, we could immerse ourselves so fully into the worlds that we are researching that we feel like we've truly traveled to another place or time. But what are some of the concerns, disadvantages, or barriers to these technologies? Financial considerations are at the top of the list. Expanding and integrating these systems come with hefty price tags. Security and privacy are other considerations. With online systems comes the real threat of hacking and loss of privacy, and we would need to have plans and protocols in place. Learning curves for both staff and patrons with new technology is a real hurdle, and patrons' access to personal devices to fully utilize all available tech might be limited, actually creating further barriers to equitable participation. In the same vein, some IoT technology is not accessible to everyone. VR headsets are an example. I've included a few other thoughts that I have, but I would love to hear what other ideas or concerns you have. I've also added a list of resources on the final slide that I used if you would like to explore the Internet of Things further.